Hello, everybody.
Would you like me to try that opening? Hey, everyone. It's Levi, Member Solutions. On over here on Villain Sport. Of course, we have Chris. He's going to be putting his food away in a bit. I still have a bit of watermelon to eat. Hope you all have had something to eat. We've got an exciting talk with everyone today because we have some great news. If you haven't seen it, the animation dropped.
And I'm really happy with it.
I don't think that lighting is very much better. Reducing the noise is nice.
What's up?
That one's nice.
That works. Yeah.
That one's nice. The old mic stand was always meant to hold lights. It can hold cameras and everything else too, but it's a stiff mounted arm. It's not really meant to do that stuff. So that's what I have it. I have the light that what used to be blocked by my monitor on it now. The only problem I hate about it is like it's right here in my face.
Right?
It sucks. It's not too bad. I can probably. There we go. That's not bad.
It's fine.
Yeah. It gets turned off when I have to go to record though, because otherwise my phone doesn't like it.
Yeah,
so
Rusty Stormraven, the drawing did kind of look like a fusion of the two of us. A little bit.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned we're going to read comments and stuff like that. Chris, go ahead and go do your thing that you need to do.
Before I do that, I got to ask, if we did fuse, would our fusion name be Jovi, Krivi, Levis, or Levon?
How about just Leviticus?
Levistifer.
There we go. Do the biblical.
Ready? We'll do the fusion dance. Oh, quick. Ready? Wrong way.
Wrong way. For me, it's this way.
Yeah.
Whatever. We failed.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Levi's idea was good. All right, so let me get those pulled up here. And of course, there's going to be a compilation video that drops too for everyone. And it's going to combine not just the two that we have, but there's also another one that we didn't show you. There we go. Comments. Make sure we can see all of them. So we're going to be reading the comments today. So far, raw numbers alone. The different thing. Leverite. Bork. You know when Piccolo and Krillin did the fusion dance, they merged into Yoda. Now we knew what the animation looked like, and we were like, not bad. That's pretty good. When Chris gets back, we'll talk more though. The cow goes moo, the duck goes quack, the dog goes word shirts. so many people like that shirt. I'm in the process of working on an even a version of that shirt that might only be for me, mind you, but I'm going to try to make it so that it can be for everyone, where on the back of the shirt, it actually has the fusion I'm just not sure what I want to have. Like maybe the words "big brother" or something like that. Ah. Chris, when I told Chris about it, he was like, "I'm good. I don't need to traumatize people that badly." The first animation, it's really good. Yeah, no, we really like it. It's really awesome. We have plans for more. Obviously, that has to succeed well enough to justify more. Right now, we knew with how it was posted that there might be some issues because we know better than to post 2 videos at once, and that's what we did, and it's okay.
Because it was a test.
Because it was
to
a
see how
test.
they performed. And there's going to be more animations later. One of my favorite suggestions for the next video, which will require a conversation with the animator, hey Dragon Hunt 551, is the Borg versus Magneto with full sound effects. John calling, you get the the Borg drone answers the phone. John tries to get transferred to the particular Borg cube. You see the Borg cube flying in space. One of them answers, and you can see it approaching asteroid M in the distance as John is pleading with them to turn around and stop. And then all of a sudden you see a little purple and red guy kind of pop out and just go, and you just see the Borg cube go, and that's the end.
1 second. What's up, kiddo?
So when I put my hand on my grenade, okay? I was going
Appreciate that, Zena. Thank you.
And then I slipped down the 2 stairs.
So for dinner, I had chicken mac and cheese, homemade macaroni. I took a block of cheese and shredded it and had sliced chicken in it. And then dessert is a container full of some pretzels on top, pistachios, and chocolate chips, dark chocolate chips. And yeah.
Pistachios do not last long enough for me because like we'll eat them and then they'll go stale because we won't eat them for months on end, or they'll go bad. Did you freeze? Chris? I'm not muted. Am I frozen? There we go.
Was that me?
Yeah, it was you.
Okay.
Okay. But anyways, pistachios go bad in my house. Sadly, like I love them, but we'll have some and then they. Anyways, so I'm gonna read some of the comments. There's one comment in particular that I absolutely love because it is the perfect amount of feedback that we were looking for. But let's start off here. So on the fully animated one, pardon me. I guess they'll call me back. Yeah. Yep, they're definitely going to call me back because that kid is a pacifist. He definitely won't kill them, right? I want to say this, and this is a perfect Aang pacifist with an asterisk. He is, and I made a comment about this. Aang is a pacifist with a code similar to Batman. The difference is the healthcare that is available to those after they've been hurt. There is no way every time Aang did his little air thing and made people fall from a certain height that they lived.
Remember how often. Remember how Aang reacted when the Sandbenders took Appa and he found them. Aang was like, sanctity of what?
Right? I'm just like, the biggest thing is like he never directly offed anyone, but he's got a body count probably the largest of anyone, just off of yeeting people off of buildings. Oh, they fell into bushes. You're telling me they didn't crack some bones and have internal bleeding?
Those weren't tank-proof bushes.
Right?
That comment right there. Schrodinger's airbender. if they got off screened, you can't say they're dead for sure. Now, Mr. Boom Boom Forehead, he dead.
He dead.
And in Korra, they straight up killed people. In Korra, there was Miss Boom Boom in season 3 or season 2, whenever that was. They straight up put a metal helmet around her head, and she set the thing off, and boom, she was done.
I love the animation. I love it. Animation amazing. Love this version. Didn't expect animation of this. Welcome the change. Epic, amazing animation. The floating predator visual was great. We agree. It was absolutely funny. Nice job. Didn't know their blood was made from water. I replied, something science is life, yada yada, blood bending magic stuff. Nutshell bound, their blood is crazy stuff, but it's probably mostly water. As far as I know, they're still carbon based. Yeah. Great job. Love this. We need the full episode with both perspectives. We will do that. Because we did my side, but we already
asked for clarification on exactly what he was looking for, just to make sure that we understood.
Yeah. I think they mean Aang and Kantara. Love this. Pretty good, though. I like your expressiveness and talking with your hands. Very nice to see the other side of phone is animated. I let him know that, this version, that version with animation was posted as well. Oh, this is delicious. Would love a full season. Bam, bam, bam. There was people on TikTok or Facebook, something like that. They're like, how can I pay you to do more of this?
Mm-hmm.
Nice job, animation. Poor Appa. Now I kind of want to go binge Frisky Dingo, which is not a bad way to spend the weekend. This is amazing. Absolutely hysterical. Love this. Why isn't this a movie? 24 hours in villain support. Outstanding. Didn't know what to think about the animation of John. Let him know that there was another one. Doesn't look bad. He just doesn't look like John. That makes sense. Oh shit, I thought it was going to be a new videos that got animation. I let them know that we'll test those out later. Right now, it's videos we know that will do well to begin with. Oh, Appa's face. You get him, Aang. Okay, I had my doubts about this when I heard it, but I very much like the execution here. We did too. Is the cabbage seller a villain? No, he is technically a hero. Even when he gets Cabbage Corp, he winds up fighting for the good.
I want to do the video where he calls himself the Cabbage Commando and he wants to be a villain, and I talk him out of it. You're too good-hearted, man. You're too good-hearted, man. You carted your cabbages from your farm into every freaking city in the Earth Nation and beyond. You worked so hard to feed the people, and now you want to turn bad? It's not you. Look, I'd love to have you as a villain. Cabbage Commando sounds great. We could find great ways for you to end lives with cabbages, but you're the wrong guy to do it.
Well, next time, don't hurt the six-legged horned marshmallow. It's an endangered species. Please tell me there'll be more like all for Kerbu as well. Not bad. Get rotated, idiot. Aang shortly before his airbender to spin a predator so hard his guts get sucked out of his mouth. Oh my god. That's the oh my god. I didn't even think about that. When Aang send people spinning around, the centrifugal force alone, people's brains go squish at a certain speed. Can't wait to have more animation. The animation is incredible. Also, don't hurt Appa. The expression on the floating hunter is fantastic. I love that too. Kudos to the animator. It's so good.
If Aang didn't kill them, he sure as hell vegetabled them.
Yeah.
They
were
were
great
not
in this. Love your animators. Loving the old school animation.
Dragon, my coffee link should be fixed. Yes.
Yeah. It is fixed. Loving the old school Hanna-Barbera. The eyes are what gave me that impression, mixed with comic book art style of John in this. Switching to the second dimension did not do John any favor. Love the visuals, more animation later. Never knew I needed animations. And the other side of the call, you just shot up one of my favorite channels now. Have they missed the voice acting that we've been doing? Okay, it's really cool you started with this one. It's great for the first one animation. Kind of was hoping one of your older ones, but I can't wait to see this. They're probably a newer fan who's seen the newer stuff. Because this was one of our first
This
videos.
was a remake, though. Remember, this was a remake.
Yeah, it is a remake. And then the other one, scroll down here. Poor predators, they deserve it at this point. A good hunter always deserves their prey before trying to hunt them. Okay, I'm in cool. The sad marshmallow Appa needs a hug. I don't think it was never made clear if they were hunting Appa or just accidentally hit him with a stray shot or missed disc or spear throw. Could have been an accident and they never got the chance to apologize or offer to help fix it. In the older one, they said they were hunting Appa. Oh yeah, we never made it clear in this one. Okay, couldn't remember, so I said I don't think. Thanks for the clarification. Those posted twice. Not gonna comment that one. The eyes on the levitating predator was great. Really like the eyes on the Appa. The cartoony approach works so well. They're very glad that we chose the animator that we did, which is Oponok. Oponok.
Yep.
The eyes might be cartoony, but they're very fitting considering the situation. I absolutely loved it. I prefer this version. Getting to see you then what you're describing works a bit better than seeing an animated version of you, which ironically is less animated than your facial expression. Otherwise, I love the animation angle and hope you all keep doing what doing and actually keep getting paid for it. The one time Appa was hurt was the one time we saw Aang fully willing to catch a body. He literally killed a buzzard wasp. And this is where I said this. The irony of that role is that it's like Batman, but less healthcare and more body stacking. Let's face it. Every single time he tossed anyone from high enough, they met their maker. That
just bought me 10 copies. Thank you.
Nice. That puts the count pretty high. Gravity is a natural cause. Not if you are the reason why gravity took effect. Personally, I love the episode.
High praise. Somebody on Facebook commented, I wondered who'd be the next Devil Artemis.
Oh, that's some real good praise right there. Personally love the episode where the previous avatar was convicted of murder by causing a guy to fall off a cliff. Then 5 minutes later, Aang tosses a guy off the exact same cliff. Right? Prefer this version. Prefer it this way. No respect for Momo. I like the half animated look. The full animation looks awesome too. I like this version better. Nice work. Fantastic. Can't wait to see more. Thanos activating the Infinity Gauntlet or Borg Queen Pool.
This was a comment made by the pro-gravity lobby.
Yeah. So poor Appa.
No, hold on. No, this one. Sorry. It's not the avatar that kills people. It's the gravity that does it. No, it's not.
Voldemort kills the Emperor. Here it is. Here's the I love this one. It's great feedback. And it's exactly why, like, I didn't give them a spoiler, but I think I prefer this version to the fully animated one. I think there's a lot of subtle subtext, subtly, SUBTLE. Yeah, that's lost in the animated John. I think that it's lost in the animated John parts compared to the live action. The only way I think animated John, Knapp, and Levi would work, short of being animated by the likes of Studio Ghibli or Disney, would be rotoscoping those sections. And I feel that's far too much to ask of an animator. Actually, once it's rotoscoped out, once it's given a mesh and everything, it's easy from there because that tool's done. That's done. You can then animate that in a much shorter amount of time forever. Unless you decide to update the facials and animation, that animation is done going forward. That is an asset that you can use going forward.
That makes me so happy.
Plus, at that point, you might as well rotoscope the other parts. Yeah, exactly. But that's a lot of work. Don't want to sound like I'm dumping on the animator you did use, so I'll try and counterbalance things by saying that if we never had live action segments and you debuted it as a fully animated from the start, I would have been perfectly content with the fully animated version. It's only knowing what we're missing out on that it drags it down. That type of feedback right there gives me credence to say, yes.
It needs to be the mix and match animated live action.
Not only that, for our channel, it has to be the mix and match. But for the fully animated channel, for the animated villain support, it does not. We could start out that channel with pure animation. And then we don't have to be there. We just have to have just pure animation and have us be animated. Katara breaks her oath of not using bloodbending because of Appa getting hurt. Yeah, that tracks. And my response was, well, we never said when in the Avatar journey this was, mind you. Which means it could have been before she made that. I think the half animated and real support guys is my favorite. I didn't like the full animation as much as this one. I like the animation. That being said, I think it adds a lot to have you guys on screen in real life rather than being animated. Case in point, the hair loopies, animated John's hands motions accurately is really hard, and the motion adds a lot to explain what he means. That being said, I don't know if you necessarily need as much as you have. There's a lot that can be implied rather than shown, which I think you guys are really strong at in your writing. For the ending, staying on John, so we imagine the Predator screaming about the incoming Aang is slightly more impactful, in my opinion, than cutting to the Predator, then back to John as the call drops. Ooh.
Yeah, because the animated John just does this.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like,
yeah. So that could have gone either way. I'm super happy you guys are growing the channel and exploring new ways to make better content. Thanks for sharing and making our days better. And this is that's the feedback that even though the view count is kind of not matching what the comments are saying, because on the comments universally both videos are pretty much saying that they would prefer the mix.
Yeah.
But the views, the raw data says something else entirely. But with YouTube, the first video you post, and this is something we tested out way back in the day, and I've seen it happen multiple times, whether we post two videos on accident or we just were impatient or something. Anytime we post two videos within an hour together, within an hour, that's the key thing. Like an hour apart, they don't really affect each other much. The further apart it is, the better it is. But if you post it within an hour, the first video will almost universally do better than the second video. So, and like I was telling Chris, there wasn't a good way to really post this and get the feedback that we were looking for without sacrificing something.
Going forward, because we have, if you're not following it, the Villain Sport animated channel.
Is it live?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
1 second here.
Because we're going to gather the resource. For everyone that's wondering, we have a Villain Sport animated lockdown.
It's just at Villain Support animated.
Yeah. When we have enough videos that we can comfortably go, okay, let's start posting and growing this second channel. We're going to do that. Now, at minimum, that's 15. We would like 30, but 15 minimum, 2 videos a week would drag it out plenty for us to be able to grow that channel. Because with animation, people assume that it takes time, right? Dropping 2 a week for, a month and a half or so is more than enough. Having 30 videos means that we could drop a video every single day for a month if we wanted to.
But sorry.
You're good.
I took too big of a bite.
What I would also like to do is all the collaborations that we've done with people have always done really well. Having those animated.
Alec is talking to Open Knock.
He is.
He likes our animation style better than what he got, and he paid more for what he got. And I would love to have him just read lines and not actually have to be on camera for Freddy and do animated Freddy videos.
I think that would work, honestly, way better. Not to say that Alec has a bad style or anything. It just we'd have more control of how we want it to look like.
Like the call with Cable could be Freddy, like hiding in just in like a corridor of her mind, and then when you hear Cable's voice, you just see his face kind of appear semi-transparently in the picture. I'd be I don't appreciate uninvited guests in my head.
I think that there's also with the style, instead of transparent, you could literally just swap over. You know what? I don't really appreciate uninvited guests. And like he's just looking in a mirror, which would be funny because he's just looking in a mirror to talk to himself. All right, that's the turkey that I don't like. Oh well. Nah. Not gonna waste it. Not gonna waste it. There's a meat stick on my desk. I have a bad habit of eating random stuff.
Was it turkey?
Yeah, it's that turkey one.
Oh.
I forgot that it was the turkey one. Because my mind processes like, I don't keep food on my desk. That means that is good enough to eat because it's not been down here very long. And I go and take a bite of it. It's probably what's going to happen. Is like it'll eventually get eaten just by me going, oh, jerky. Oh, jerky. The piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. But yeah, there was some great feedback across the socials that this was definitely the right path, even if it's, not gaining the views currently. It's still gaining views. What is it on the other socials right now?
Instagram. It's at 1768 live action, 3642 animated. TikTok is 1536 live action, 2213 animated. Instagram's outperforming TikTok, which never happens. Ever.
Instagram is TikTok is outperforming Instagram, or Instagram's outperforming TikTok?
Instagram's outperforming TikTok.
So Instagram has a habit of like when it's an animation, there is a lot of animation on Instagram.
Yeah. Facebook live action is at 789. Animated is at 4,500. And then YouTube is live action is at 3,700. Animated is at 8,300.
I love this. This is just the amount of feedback alone that we're getting. It's pretty consistent with what we felt. But my kiddo is a prime example of why full animation is probably going to really work as well, because he just wants to sit there and watch the animation. But that's a cartoon. He's a kid. I love how many people also on the announcement were like, yeah. Here's the comment. I wonder who would be the next Devil Artemis. Please don't stop the live actor skits completely. Your facial expressions are priceless. Yeah, no, we're not going to ever stop the live action. unless both of us get to the point where like, yeah, Toph will stone crush. No, that's another video that's gonna do really well animated. Is the Toph versus the Angels?
Yeah,
Hands down, people have been wanting to see Toph go against the Angels on both, regardless. And I gave them that. People were like, "Yeah," but having it animated, and then there's the fact that for everyone here, we do want to do the stories that we've created from start to finish in animation as well. For like, you get to see the fights and stuff like that. Because I think it would be cool. Chris agrees it'd be cool to see full-on animated fights.
Yeah. It's a question
also,
of what is that going to cost versus what we got. What we got, I'm really happy with.
Yeah. But that's where we go, okay, if this is going to take off as much as we want it to, we can go ahead and be like, this is where we need to focus on growing versus a comic book, Gary, and that kind of stuff. This is what we need to focus on. Grow this and then grow the other stuff. Now, we're still going to do Gary the Broke Vampire. It's our original character, Chris is specifically. I came up with a few different characters that would be a part of that universe, but I'd have to go back and look at them because honestly, they were one-offs that I didn't think were going to do very well. But
what's MLP?
My Little Pony.
Oh,
I'm assuming, unless it's Major League. No. My Little Pony. It's got to be My Little Pony. YouTube's doing well for 5 hours and 15 minutes. It's doing about as expected considering what we did. The double post was not in the favor of any platform. But it's getting the feedback that we need. We're seeing the numbers go up over time. I have no doubt that the videos are going to hit really this weekend, as we don't once we stop posting content for a day or two, which Saturday and Sunday, for everyone wondering, there probably isn't going to be any new content. It's just going to be letting the content that's there kind of drive forward. Why'd you turn off the fan?
Thought you were asking me.
So it's not too hot in the garage, but it's hot enough that I was like, that's annoying. But the basement, I've mentioned this before. I had an idea, like maybe just blowing all that nice cold air. Stop. Tobias, I know it's you now. I'm going to ground you again. You're going to get another few days on your grounding. Okay. You don't come down here and mess with stuff while I'm working. See, now you go upstairs. You do not come back down until I'm done. For the record, he got in trouble. He lost his electronics. He's bored. And so he's doing stuff in the wrong fashion to get attention. So I agree with Chris. The next animation should be another one of his skits. Just hands down, because the skit in question is one of the best that there has been. And because the asset already exists of Chris animated, it means we can have another 2 versions of the call again. Versus having to pay to have me animated, which will be a thing that we will eventually do. I just haven't really decided if we want to animate me with hair or if we want to go with the cat.
You can probably do both.
Yeah. And this is another thing, Nathan. Thank you for the donation. Animation allows us to do specific characters that might have the same name but look vastly different or react differently. Because then we don't have to try to explain in like a 10 to 15 second blurb or whatever of which version that we're talking to, or have it in there from Supernatural, from Good Omens, or something like that. We can literally just have them be on screen.
That's a testament to how freaking stressful this planet is, Blackfire. That's why it produces the strongest fighters in the universe, because you deal with the most stress here.
One of the things that's going to be fun is doing the Stitch videos as well.
Yeah.
Having all of those be animated. Stitch in the 40K is going to be a nightmare,
yeah.
probably, though.
I just messaged the animator and I said, okay, I know which video is going to be next. Again, we'll be wanting a fully animated and a live action and half live action, but no more villain side only videos. We'd like to discuss some adjustments of the support characters since there's John, Levi, and Nappa. And we have a little input on character design if you're open to that. So we can let them know John needs to be all the way bald.
I think that if we did villain support, if we did the villain side only, it has to be the full battle.
Right. But so John, I want John to have a dark goatee, and his was kind of red. You need to figure out what you want with your character. And everybody, the idea I want for Nappa, and Levi agrees with this, is we want him to look at his desk like Mr. Incredible looks at his desk in The Incredibles. Just this huge hulking guy, like kind of hunched over a little computer on a desk.
Now, we don't, like, one thing I would hate to do is take away from the fact, and this is huge, because whether you realize or not, Chris, you created a body positivity with Nappa.
Yeah.
What I would love is to still have a huge guy, maybe built, but he still has pudge.
Super muscles, yeah. Huge muscles, but he's got a desk job.
Yeah, he's got a desk job. He's got a cut now. Yeah. And I think that's perfect. Let's face it, it's got to have glasses, beard, and hat. People see me in its glasses, beard, hat. Don't get me wrong, I've got plenty of videos without my hat on, but that's the majority of it. And like there's gonna be times where Chris and Levi and Nappa all look differently, but we don't need that part right now.
A huge pile of broken keyboards behind it.
Yes. Please highlight that and put that in the lore area.
Yeah. Oh shit. Lore. Animated Nappa has a huge amount of broken keyboards.
We've answered this before that we haven't seen it yet. We don't know what it's gonna be or anything like that. So we can't really give an opinion more than like, don't know. We've mentioned that before, that it's just a don't know. Not saying that it doesn't interest us. It's just not something that we're going to go out of our way to watch currently. Not yet.
They're making a comic of Predator kills the Marvel Universe.
Apparently. And I don't honestly think that, obviously that's not going to be canon, but at the same time, I don't care what Predator you have. They're not killing the Marvel Universe. It's Iron Man himself, maybe, if he doesn't have any of his armor or any of his extremist abilities, or like you have to get Iron Man when he's normal Iron Man, not like everything else that he is. And even that's hard. Yes, a Mathlete award. Yeah.
And he also needs to have bags of mimic jerky on his desk.
Yes. Doesn't need to be dirty. It just needs to be like Nappa with a tiny, delicate teacup, pinky extended.
Right. Like, yeah, like the Yautja lost to Arnold Schwarzenegger as a regular human. How does it kill Galactus?
Seemingly. This is a thing that gets me when everyone says, oh, the Predator would own this person. I'm like, in every video I have personally seen, and in almost every video that has been out there, it is a regular human beating the crap out of them, including hunters who have like experience. And you're telling me a Predator, a Yautja, is going to win against somebody with supernatural abilities? Or Kevin, and like, this is my defense against Kevin McAllister. He is not a normal child.
No. They've got little metal rings around their Predator dreadlocks. Magneto just goes, and then
right. It just anyways. You sure he doesn't need any beans? No, he doesn't have sensu beans on call. He has to go and get them. He has to go request them. I think that's another thing that like we got to be careful with some things. That still has to be its own thing. Now, Devil Artemis is a perfect example of somebody who is fully monetized, but is still able to do what they do without almost any issues. And that is because while the characters may look the same, they act so fundamentally different, which is why we're going to have that. But Team 4-Star, remember, Team 4-Star did get cease and desist.
Yeah.
So
because all they did was they took the original animation and just put new voices to it.
Yeah. And so as cool as that would be and fun as a project as that would be, if we ever did that, that video would not be monetized.
What they didn't do, they didn't fundamentally change it into something else. They just put new voices on the original animation. Now, the difference between that and bad lip reading is bad lip reading does clips of what it looks like they're saying, not writing a whole new script that sounds funny. Because Team 4-Star's script is a cohesive-ish story, whereas bad lip reading is like you see me say pizza, and they have me say something else, and then you say something that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, the abridged series in general it's funny, it's great, but without fan funding, they wouldn't move forward. They wouldn't be able to move forward, at least at the speed that they're able to put them out. And I don't think Team 4-Star does the abridged series. Do they?
They did DBZ abridged.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure Kevin is also protected by House Faye everywhere. Probably. Right? Maybe he is the House Faye. Napa just broke another keyboard. Have 3 left. Can you put another freight order for me? Pretty sure Kevin is also John. What is the Leo? He even broke that one. So at the end of the day, when we look at it, we of course have our preference. We have despite the raw numbers. The raw numbers are good to find out because it's like, hey, this means that second channel that's just going to be pure animation will do well.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. At a certain point, and this is again at a certain point, the pure animation, when it's us being animated, will only appear on the animation channel.
We can set the example now of Napa breaking a keyboard. And the next video Napa's in, he goes, John, this one's not working anymore. I'm like, Napa, stop pounding them so hard. Do you understand how soft I have to touch these fragile little things to type? I've asked you repeatedly for an adamantium one, and you keep saying it's not in the budget. How many of these does one adamantium one? How many of these is equivalent to what an adamantium one costs?
That's where you say, Napa, that was an adamantium keyboard.
Napa, that's the 3rd adamantium keyboard you've broken. Oh, well, get me one made out of the cube they used in Kami Land that Gohan cut with the Z sword.
Yeah, that's the first one you broke, Napa. Oh. And leave it on that one. Leave it on that. Oh. Yeah. Like he just do you have a cheap keyboard that you'd be willing to like take the buttons off and crack?
No.
You gotta go find one for like $5.
But I bet you I can find one. In fact, I'm gonna ask some people on Facebook right now.
I bet you can find one in the marketplace or something like that, or at a thrift store nearby that's for $5 that you can just like. Second question: will there be a goat ending eating the broken keyboards? No. We're okay. Too many things in the background of anything. Like take mine for example. When it's a cohesive theme, which I have other pictures that can like go together, it's not too bad. Somebody will latch on to a object. Do you know what's better? Chris's background, where it is a consistent theme. The reason why my background works, but it's not quote unquote consistent, is because in a way it is. I have swords, I have nerdy stuff. Chris has a theme. He has Star Wars, and then when he switches out something, people will focus on that picture right behind him. It is a really good, simple-ish background. People focus on usually one of three pictures. They focus on Mr. Bubbles, they focus on Hot Lady, or they focus on the comic book one.
I gotta let my dog out of here. 1 second.
Periodically, somebody will, because I'll move right, and somebody will see the buckle up toothless. I mean, I'm sure I have one somewhere. Whether or not you can use it is the question, because all of my keyboards are usually functional. And I think I got rid of a bunch of junk when we moved. I am so excited for more additional animation projects. Just making sure we don't release 2 at a time. I don't even think we need to release the fully animated one on this channel. It can be released. That can be honestly set to the side to be released on the animated channel when we have a buildup of them. I'm not sure. It's one of those things we'll have to decide on. Oh my gosh, I forgot that there was a cat down here. What's up, buddy? Just a random meow. Oh my god. Are you working out? Or hardly working? Yeah.
Where the heck is... I'm trying to find my... Sorry, I'm trying to find the group that I have that I know where people will have broken computer parts. 1 second.
Ow. Go to the spot. For those that don't know, my kitty has a chair of their own on my chair. Yeah. What's up? What's up? Oh. Levi's cat is so cute. Yes, this one's Max. This big ol'. I found his thing that you made, the halter thing, and then I lost it. You gotta find
What thing did I made?
that Slayer made for the cats. They're little like...
Oh, Slayer. I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, I don't remember making anything.
The cat has been featured enough in the channel that yes, he is like... There are a lot of people who make comments about the cats that have shown up on the channel. You're a tax write-up. You work. Yeah, you work. Too bad I don't use you enough in videos. I can write you off completely. I said it wrong. That's not what I mean. Oh, and hey, Chris, give Napa a vibranium keyboard. It will never break. And then it breaks.
Vibranium or vibrating? Vibranium.
Oh,
Vibrabomb is a totally different product.
You like your chair. You don't want to be on me at all. Oh, there we go. So half of him is on the chair. And half of him
is on you.
Half of him is on me. Hi, Max. He's bigger. Yes, he's much bigger than Whiskers was. Yeah. Yeah, he prefers harness style stuff. I have his harness down here somewhere in the
You know, I bet
garage.
I could do.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna go to Best Buy and just be like, "Hey, do you guys have any old keyboards in back that don't work that you're gonna get rid of anyways?"
Yeah, but I'm serious though. You could probably find one. Do you have a thrift store local?
I'm sure I do.
You could probably pick one up for really cheap, much cheaper than Best Buy at a thrift store.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse, it's still gonna be live action, but we're gonna slowly start animating stuff. I don't plan on buying. I don't plan on buying broken keyboards at Best Buy. I'm gonna see if they want to give them to me.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Jesse. So this channel, the main channel, which will always be referenced as the main channel, is going to always have live action. 100%. It's never going to go away. There is an animated version, Villain Support Animated, that will be all animation. It won't have us live action. It'll only have the animated version of us. This is for two reasons. One, I really, or at least I feel that Chris might have different feedback.
What?
The animated channel should only be pure animation.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So every animation we do will be a combo. There'll be a fully animated one, and there'll be a partially animated one we put here on this channel.
Yeah.
That will then point to the fully animated one.
Yeah. And when we have enough, and we're holding off before we upload stuff, because the best way to grow a channel is to post as continuously as you possibly can, whether that be once a week, once a month, twice a week, whatever it may be. As long as you're posting continuously, that is the best way to grow a channel.
And so you were talking about the possibility of doing like two a week with 30 videos.
With 15 videos at minimum.
15 videos in the pipe. That would last us 7-ish weeks. He was able to get this done in a week.
Mind you, we were his only client at the time, I think.
Yeah.
So, being able to give enough of a buffer is huge, because then we can be like, we have enough for everyone wondering. We have enough content to be animated.
Oh yeah.
That we're not concerned about having content to be animated. It's a matter of having the funds to make that possible. So we're gonna probably fund, I think, ourselves one more animated video. See how well it does.
I need to wait before commissioning any more animation to confirm what's going on with taxes.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure that I don't spend what ends up being tax money to make animated videos.
So you're saying if people donated money to you for animation, it would be able to be used for animation?
Absolutely.
There you go. There's confirmation. How much money? What is the goal that we need to make the Borg video, Magneto versus Borg video?
Say again.
How much would be needed?
I don't know.
Thank you to Tally for getting rid of the bot. And that is something that we will be doing eventually. The animated fights cost significantly more. So here's how we look at this. We're gonna do one more guaranteed video. And we won't need to put two of them side by side. We're gonna do one more video. The one that gets posted on this channel will be the live action mixture, and we're gonna kind of go from there. I don't see a reason as to why it won't do well, because we won't need to remake the live action only version. We'll be able to concentrate on making a version that's live action animation and update it with just that video, because there is 100% guarantee you that the reason why these animated videos are not doing as well as they could have right out of the gate is because a week ago he posted the remake, and that was because it was necessary. The Magneto one, while it does need to be rewritten and remade, it doesn't need to be posted as a fully live action video right off the bat.
I still want to do it as live action, but I want to get someone who can play the Borg.
I want to get, I would love to do a fully live action back and forth. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that we couldn't do that. We could still do our same a normal live action style. But I feel like before we post the full live action style, we should post the animation with the remade and sound and everything.
Yeah.
And then do a live action one, you know, a month, you know, a week down the road. This way we don't hamper the animation
Right.
version by saying, oh, here's this really good video. It's trending. Here's the same video animated a week later. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But I feel that we definitely didn't give the videos, and this isn't by any fault of our own, the best possible chance they could have had, mainly because we needed to know this was an experiment. The experiment is a success in my mind already. It's just financially waiting for it to recoup.
Right.
Cat is not letting me move. Like the Predators video, the fully animated one, is sitting at 10,000 views right now. The mix is sitting at 4,700. And I know for a fact with the feedback in the comments that we've had, which one people prefer, even though the raw data is not showing that. But the raw data lets us know, like I mentioned earlier in the live stream, that a fully animated channel would do really well.
Yeah.
Hallie, I really do hope it's as popular as Experiment 626 was. That experiment that I did with adding all the voices and everything is what led us to use more voices in our videos.
Yeah.
Watch our videos. Even in all honesty, the videos that weren't that good did better than they would have before because we added voice. Now, there are people who prefer to not have any voices at all in them.
There have been comments of people saying, just do you taking your side of the call and nothing else. I don't like anything else that you do. And there still will be videos like that. There's going to be a mix of me doing a video where you can't hear the other side, or Levi, a mix of us doing it where you can hear the other side, a mix of us doing it where you then see the other side, and then sometimes it'll be animated, sometimes it'll be fully animated.
Now, the fully animated ones, like we mentioned, we kind of want to keep them specifically for the animated
What
channel.
I want to do with those is I want to get them animated and then hold on to it until we're ready to start doing that, but still keep posting the half live, half animated ones over here.
That's what I was saying too. I think you were busy when I was saying that. But that's what I was saying too.
I just wanted to say it like I had the idea independently because I want to feel important also.
I want to feel important also. Well, this whole thing, this entire channel wouldn't exist without you.
True.
Also, I'm not. Oh, that's depressing to think about.
What?
You should feel very proud as well as the community right now, because I just had a realization, and I've said it before, but like it really just hit home. If you never created Villain Sport, I would be homeless.
If everything had gone the way that it did outside of Villain Support, yeah.
I guarantee you I would have had that same loss of job because of the stress I was put under and the way things were going.
Right. But if things had gone the same way after that to where they did, yeah, you're right.
And there was pretty much on track to, because he was an old man.
Yeah.
So it was, that is depressing. And also one of those things where you got to think about, like, Villain support, you and the community are the reason 100% why I'm not homeless. But at the same time, without it, my life would have dramatically been worse, guaranteed.
Channel hug, everybody.
Yeah, channel hug. Do not fret over alternate reality Levi's situation. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the cat disappeared. Where'd he go?
Even villains do heroic things once in a while. If the end justifies the means, yes. We need Levi to have a place to live in order to take over the universe.
Dang it, John, you're not supposed to reveal the ultimate plan in my bad ideas book. Alternate Levi is crazy cat man. Yeah.
So we just got a dang it. We just got a comment on Facebook that I saw and needed to respond to immediately. He goes, oh crap, I just lost it. Hold on. He responded to the animated only version. And it was a pretty harsh comment originally. He said, damn it, I liked these better without the animation. That sucks. I was so looking forward to this. Try only animating the villains and keep yourselves filmed. And I wrote, hey, read the description and go to our profile. There was an animation / live action mixed version also. And he goes, nice. I knew I liked your style. And I was just like, did you not read the text above the video? Do people really not read the text on the video? I read the text on every video that I watch all the way through. I read the caption.
I will I'll read it too, but usually the first 5-10 seconds I'm not paying attention to the caption on the bottom of the video that was written. I'm paying attention to the video itself, and that's common. One thing I will say, and I think it would be a good idea for me and you to talk about this after the stream, is we should talk about a goal for Kickstarter for animation. And with that goal, we have stretch goals. So we have a minimum of how many, and you'd have to talk to the animator and be like, hey, we're interested in future projects. We're going to try to get the funding for these.
Oh, he's already on board to do more. He already told me that. Okay.
The question is like, what is this going to be a similar price point going forward, or do we need more, so on and so forth? This way we can like be like, okay, here is with a buffer zone, how much we need, like, you know, $1,000 to $3,000, $1,000 to $2,000, whatever it is for animation Kickstarter. Yeah. Okay. And then here's the stretch goals. Just throwing these out. These live stream peeks behind the curtain make the videos you all make even more fun. Both. Yeah. Nathan, first of all, thank you for the donation. There has been not even mixed feedback, almost universally across YouTube or creators. They don't do what me and Chris are doing, especially me, where I show so much of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, most creators do not like doing that. And a lot of it, from what I've understand from Josh's situation and whatnot, is the idea that as you're doing it, somebody's going to steal that idea and then go run with it themselves real quick. And I'm like, look, if you could do what I'm doing before I can put it out.
Thank you, Nathan.
After I've already made a live stream showing that I was doing it first.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned. Do you know why? Because I just did a live stream where I had the idea. I have everything. And if somebody says, oh, this guy did it first, I can be, why don't you go check the live stream, bro?
Yeah. So yeah, no, what I said to the animator was, we're super happy with this. Planning already to do more if you're up for it. And he goes, thanks. And yeah, I'm down.
So we need a goal, a generalized goal of how much each video would roughly cost, maybe with a buffer zone. And then we times that by 5, 10, whatever we feel comfortable with to like get the animation channel up and running. Yeah. Even if that means that like at start, it's like one video a week. Don't really mind. Even one video a week would still be every Wednesday's a video, you know?
And I think that a lot of animation channels, that's more than reasonable.
Yeah.
The animator is at OPONOK on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Opanok.
I want my tea. I've got some sun tea that's been brewing for the last hour and a half, and I can't have it because I got a cat down here that shouldn't.
I just typed his username.
Did you already send him a message, or are you doing it now?
I'm sending him another one here. So I sent him earlier today. I wrote Instagram is the platform I normally get the fewest views on. Both shorts are doing pretty well on YouTube, but views are lower than expected on other platforms. I think part of it is that we posted both versions at the same time. YouTube's algorithm doesn't seem to care that much, but other platforms want you to post often, but at intervals. We're going to give it a couple days or so and see where reviews shake out. But right now, the fan feedback seems to point at the blended live action animated direction. We just want to get some more feedback before we move forward to another video. Regardless of the version, there's a lot of very positive and complimentary feedback on the animation itself. And then I said, okay, I know which video will be next, wanting fully animated and live action versions, but not villain only side. We'd like to discuss some adjustments to the sport character since there's John, Levi, and Nappa. We have input on character designs if you're open to that. And then I'm also typing now, what would it cost to do more than just see the villain and also see more stuff happening in the background? Obviously, I think that will vary from video to video based on what's going on and what we want to see. But having an idea of a generalized price point would be great if you think you can provide that.
I'm hoping he'll respond relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that name?
OPONOK. What I want to do is I would love to do some sort of fundraising thing and fundraise the expected cost for 15 to 20 videos.
That's what I was talking about, the Kickstarter. Yeah. And what we do is we have a buffer zone, the expected cost with the buffer zone. And that's going to be the cost, not just the expected cost. Like if it costs $2,000, we're going to do a high number because it's probably going to be in that range. $2,000 to have the animation done for, 10, 15 videos.
Don't get me wrong. Like, here's the thing. Like somebody earlier goes, why don't you make John like big and buff instead of the way you look? And a Matrix type thing where, you appear as as your self-image. And I'm like, John's a million-year-old evil lord who controlled his own universe for who knows how long. This is how John thinks he looks. And
Levi is the same way.
This is how John chose to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind my character being a little less pudgy and a little more muscular. I'm sure Levi feels the same way about his animated version. And obviously Nappa needs to be like crazy swole with a big gut, and a bald head. And yes, for all the people who are asking, Nappa will go Super Saiyan.
Chris will always, John will always be bald. Levi will have luscious, like better hair than I do, to be honest. And yes, it will still be red. I will be a full redhead in the animation. I'm not taking that away from everyone. But for the Kickstarter, let's say $2,000 is the minimum necessary to get the 10, 15 videos. So we have a buffer of like $500-$600 on top.
Let's think about this. So this total was $350 between animating the Predator only side and animating the Predator and John version, because he already had the Predator from the first video, so he just needed to do some splicing and then animate John. So he had to do a little less work. As he continues to work with these character assets he's created, it'll reduce the amount of time he needs to take to do the animation
and the cost.
So if we assume $200 at the minimum to get one of these done in the future,
$3,000.
To do 15 of them, we're looking at least 3,000.
Yeah. So we have a buffer zone of like $500-$600. So 3,500, I think, as a buffer zone.
Yeah. Yeah, Fantali, I'm glad you caught that because we are not that kind of channel.
But if we had like a buffer zone, you know, $500-600, so 3,500, I think would be a good starter range. And then we have stretch goals. Now the stretch goals would be very specific, right? The first stretch goal would literally just be extra videos getting done in the same style. The second stretch goal would be a much larger down there stretch goal of having a full fight scene.
I think I like that. I think the first stretch goal should be animating either the Samara Chronicles or Borgpool. Basically, which is if we can double what our goal is, that can let us get that animated because he can create the assets and do the whole animation for that.
So on Kickstarter, when you do a stretch goal, you can have it be however much you want.
Yeah.
But on average, the first stretch goal isn't too far from the original goal.
Okay.
So we hit 3,500, we get 4,000. That gives us a couple more things. The first stretch goal is not a huge thing. The second, third, fourth, and fifth, they get progressively larger. Right?
We totally need to do Kerbu at some point.
Yes. So the first stretch goal should be, you know, we get an extra $500. That's a few extra. That's another video, but it's a fan voted video.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's the people on Kickstarter who get to make that vote of you pick the video that gets to be animated first. Right. The second. Oh, that's a really good one. We should write that down.
What? This?
First stretch goal for Kickstarter on animation. No. What I just said. The first stretch goal of the animation being 500 more, basically another video, is a Kickstarter, is another video, but also the Kickstarter, people who supported the Kickstarter get to vote on the video that gets to be animated first. And then the second one would be like, instead of 500 more, it's $1,000 more, right? That's almost an entire series. Another grand is another, what, 3, 4, maybe 5 videos. Or we can even make it more extreme, 1,500. Yeah, let's make it more extreme, 1,500. $1,500 over the goal of that. So it'd be 4,000, 5,500. So 5,500 stretch goal. And this is assuming the numbers we have, would be, what would it be? What would we do? Would it be
1,000 more is no, sorry. It's a 300 original goal. 500 more is,
I think 5 stretch goals is more than enough. And if we exceed that, we just kind of go, okay.
Audience vote video. 1,000 more is
an alternate to answer this. No.
1,000 more would be fully animated fight scene.
Yes. I feel like that.
The goal is Samara Chronicles or Borgpool. Beyond that is something.
Yeah.
And you can add stretch goals as milestones are hit, right?
Yeah, you can, as the milestones hit, you can add, like, we can just literally put more stretch goals to come. It's 30 days to get it. 500 more is audience vote video. 1,000 more is full animated fight scene. Double goal, so $6,000 is Samara Chronicles or Borgpool. Beyond that is something. I agree. That's great. To answer this question,
now we also need to get animators' feedback on what all that would cost, if he can handle that amount of work, etc.
Not only that, it's possibly finding more animators to work on the project.
Asking him, who do you know who's an actual animator and not a reseller that can animate in a similar or even the same style that you do? who would be willing to work at the rates you've quoted us, that you know, friends that you have, classmates, etc., who would love to work on this stuff.
Exactly. To kind of make it go by faster. Alternate. But basically, if we did this, we'd have to increase the cost based on the actual merchandise that is being made. You'd have to factor that into the goals. And
Yeah,
so
we do have to factor in $20 per backer. For, I mean, I guess you could have different tiers also, and you could have a tier that is support a portion of the animation and get a villain support shirt.
yes, you can. And that would not be difficult to do,
So we can
because
totally
it
do
would
that.
just be manually ordering. Now, the problem I see, and like knowing our community,
Yeah.
having 400 manual orders that now you have to take care of and mail out specifically the shirts.
Oh, those would just be orders we'd place on Fourth Wall. And have
I
them shipped
get
out.
that, but you'd have to manually order it 400 times.
I bet that if it was all a villain support shirt, that I could contact them and say, hey, I have a batch order and I have all the addresses where they need to go. Can you handle that for me? And I bet they'd say yes.
No, you're good. Fourth Wall connects to Kickstarter.
Cool.
There you go.
Well, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm going to start a Kickstarter account and I'm going to connect Fourth Wall to it.
And what's great about this is that if this succeeds, which I think we can make it happen, we can then do Kickstarter for other things as well, obviously. And if they don't succeed, they don't succeed. It's not the end of the world for us. But like going to specific conventions, if enough people want us to go, it's like, hey, this is what we need to see. And for everyone wondering about Salt Lake Comic-Con, that's going to happen one way or another. It's more about waiting to see how things are going to flesh out.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have a panel, drastically reduces the amount of days I'm going.
Correct. and affects whether or not I'm going.
Yes. Like I will still go, and you might still get to see me. The difference is that I will be with my family, and that'll be a day for me and my family. I'm not going to say, and like my family is very aware that if somebody says, hey, I'll stop by and say hi.
And if that happens, like if it's just you going for a day, I'm canceling the hotel. I'm not going to pay for a hotel room.
No, I won't need it.
Yeah.
There won't be any reason to have a hotel either.
You guys do what you do, and then when you're done, ready to leave, you leave.
Because the only reason we want to go is to see people that are honestly on Thursday, and it's not out of our way to go drive there a single day. It's going there every single day and trying to find parking and park and freaking nightmare that is Salt Lake parking. Coupled with all the construction currently happening,
where does it connect to Kickstarter? I don't see that.
I googled it. It said it does.
Their integrations here are YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Discord, Twitch subs,
social link. Oh, add social link. Click on add social link. Enter your Kickstarter and username. Save changes. Adds the link to your storefront. It adds the link to your storefront. You can't like connect it outside of that.
Yeah, no, we need to be able to integrate it.
So I would send a message while you're in Fourth Wall and everything. Send a message to them and be like, hey, is there a way to do the thing that me and you discussed? To connect Fourth Wall integration to Kickstarter so that if people place a donation order or whatever, a shirt can automatically be sent out to them. If not, don't get me wrong, everyone, I could definitely sit down and for a couple days type everything out and get the orders out. It's something that it's not new to me.
I can just ask on Fourth Wall's
Discord, right?
Discord, yeah.
Yeah. Blackfire, Chris, if the Predator went to Dreamland and targeted Kirby and Kirby sucks one of them up, what would Kirby be? Predator Kirby? That's a thing. I can show you actually. There's artwork of that. By the way, that's a video I did. Predator versus a ball. Oh, the Predator versus Kirby is what it's titled. How well did that do? Actually, I don't. Post that. I don't know if this was ever posted as a short. Yeah, it is a short too. That didn't too bad at the time. 35,000 a year ago when all our views were massively down and hurting. That's not bad.
No, I agree.
That was right around the time we barely December. Yeah, that was barely after the strike happened. We were still recovering from our views.
Yep.
The Death Battle fandom apparently wanted to see that as a video.
If you see what is a video?
Kirby versus the Predator. But if you Google it, you can see some artwork that's been done.
That's funny.
Can backer kit work? Could backer kit work? I don't know if backer kit would work for this because this is mostly, you know what? That is something to look into though.
Checking right now.
Another thing is that we could make shirts, specifically Kickstarter exclusive shirts of like whatever thumbnail it is or something like that. Because at that point, they're not paying for their shirt, they're paying for this thing and they're getting the shirt as a reward.
Yeah, we totally can because like Brandon Sanderson and Steve Jackson Games use backer kit, so it's not just tech.
Can you grab him and take him upstairs, Tobias? You gonna give me the Iron Man helmet?
Return to Stark HQ.
There's a bunch of spiders inside.
Okay.
I'm
What?
just kidding.
No.
It's just a bunch of dust. Open the mask.
Oh damn, that stinks though.
Oh fuck. Tusk.
You don't. I don't want to toss it, but
Oh. Yeah, I'll eat them good.
yeah. Go put that up, please.
It's only $2.99.
Yeah, it was only $3. It was a toy I got originally for you.
I can't put it.
Go put it up.
I don't really know where Max is.
Well, I heard him somewhere.
Yeah. I turn it off for you.
Like I can make one that specifically fits my head. I looked into making iron. For anyone wondering, I have 3D printers. I know I have the electronic skill to make a fully functioning Iron Man helmet, lift up and raise with like cheek movements or whatever. They have all the plans or Arduino, all that stuff online. I know enough to do it. There are two problems. Arthritis sucks. And I found tools now that would allow me to do it. But two is the cost of filament and time to do so would take away from my time doing this job and my other stuff. So I tend, when I'm making 3D prints, if I have an idea for an art print or something like that, it will take me a very long time. I have to be really motivated to make something outside of that. I have
Yeah.
the Batman one that still hasn't been painted yet.
Are you talking about this credit cat? Oh my god. Ah. Oh. Ow. Ow. Daddy.
Why don't you go say that in the mic? Like, go on me. Go on me.
In the mic. Go on.
He had a lot to say until you were put on the spot. Don't force it. Bro. You can hear the purr meow. Now go on. Yes, it's Max. Yeah. Take him upstairs, please. No, you go upstairs.
Oh.
Take him upstairs. He needs to go upstairs so I can go get my Sunday. Triple cat. Yeah, he likes to. He got so much fur, you know.
What was that?
Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and go.
Bro, you still
No, too early to mention. I'll share if they want it. Cat is like, let me love you. Yeah, once he got comfortable, he does not like getting moved. We have 42 people here. To the 42 people, you guys are all awesome. I love you all. I am so looking forward to having a lot of animation and different styles of animation. I love who we found, though. It fits our comedic style
He
so well.
got our style without any direction from us.
That was so awesome. I was
Yeah.
like, that's good. And like, if you gave, and to everyone wondering about like having John or me be more animated, yeah, absolutely. It was something that was discussed. We wanted it to be simple and as cheap as we can. So there are things lost when you go a slightly cheaper route. Like, we could not have.
I got a response. No, Force Wall does not integrate with Kickstarter. They recommend an embed instead. So it can't help you directly manage your
And Blade, we want to find more. Don't get me wrong. The best term I can think of is Rolodex. That's no longer. What is the new version of a Rolodex? You know, the thing that has a bunch of
a phone contact list.
I guess a contact list, but that's not quite what I'm looking at. But basically, we want to have a crew of people that we can contact to do things like the animation, the voice acting. Like, we're going to handle a lot of voice acting. Don't get me wrong, but we need voice actors on both spectrums of what they can voice. People who can voice it damn near perfectly. We need people who are comfortable and want to voice characters that already exist and need to be as close to the character as possible, as well as maybe original characters down the road, right? And it's a matter of, a team, but a team implies like directly working only for us, and that's something that we would love to do in the future. And if it becomes immediately available, like I'm not, it would be amazing to get the money, the type of money that Death Battle got. They got like a couple million or over $1 million for their Kickstarter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's also, they were shooting for like a couple 100,000 or something. So like, each one of their episodes is expensive to make.
I mean, they were spending 50,000 per episode, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Nathan, yes and no. Currently, I'm gonna tell you this: the reason why I haven't been promoting the Cosmic Kitty shop is because I can't afford the tariffs. we can make stickers. I can't afford to import anything else because they fixed that little loophole, and it's like, there's no way to keep this stuff in stock.
Yeah.
You can enamel pins are not made in the US at all. They're illegal here. They're illegal because the same machinery that can make enamel pins can be used to print money.
Really?
Yep, the printing press thing is a block. There's a block that's placed in it for the dollar bills, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's made the same way enamel pins are. So the stuff that makes enamel pins can make the dollar bill blank block or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're not allowed. It's illegal to have them here. Not to mention like the chemicals and everything else that's used to make them. But yeah, they're in China. It's like exclusively in China. Nathan, it's not that it's not a possibility. We have, and I need to get non-magnetic versions, but there are acrylic ones that we have of the old logo. And there's buttons and things like that we can do. The biggest problem, and this is going to be still the biggest problem, is the materials needed or the equipment needed to make these things. Even if in the enamel pens, I can get one made if I want it to be as many colors as honestly what Villain Support has, which is, believe it or not, 7 colors. And we have narrowed it down to 4 possible colors where it still looks good. It's still expensive to get that mold made because you have to put a minimum, and this was back a couple of years ago, of about $300-400. Now it's almost double that. And then you have to order a minimum of like 50 bare minimum up to a couple hundred. Now, there are ways to do that through Fourth Wall, thankfully. But it's a matter of getting enough people to go to Fourth Wall and say, hey, look, in order for these to be a possibility, there needs to be a minimum. I think Fourth Wall says like $300, or not $300, 300 orders. Whether you like it or not, anytime you get acrylic, resin, enamel, anything like that, you're supporting harmful chemicals. There's no way around that at all. Even printing stickers is technically harmful chemicals. After it's made, though, and the way it's disposed of, in China, it's very highly regulated. Those chemicals are not going into the water. They're not going into the ground. They are getting and being disposed of properly. Where did you get that?
I found on the floor in the room.
In the office?
No, not here. Like over there.
So yeah, in the garage. Yeah, that needs to go. That is one that's for sale then. You have one in your room. Please go put that back because that's still for sale. And if it disappears and I get an order, I'm going to be in trouble trying to refund that order because there's not many of those left.
I thought you said there's only going to be sale for a couple
until they're gone.
Oh, until they're gone.
Yeah, until there's no more left.
I don't know if them anymore.
I will never order the old logo again due to copyright issues.
What gold logo? Why not?
We changed it so well. I'm never going to order this one again.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. And we still need to make a hero support and a member solutions one.
Yeah.
The problem I have with making See, I can't not have a, like, we have to have a hero support one so that the member solutions one can be the mix of the two. The problem I have is that no one buys the hero support merch, or it's so little that it's hard to justify that. And in response, it's hard to justify turning around and doing 2 of them because of that.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Here it is. So let me see how many we have labeled as left. So for magnets, I have no more villain support magnets. Technically, I think I have like 2 or 3. For the
Okay.
acrylic pens, villain support is officially okay. You can go have that one.
Really?
Yep, I have it here that it's officially out of stock for the villain support acrylic pen. As long as make sure there's one left that I can give away at like Comic-Con or something. I don't know what we want to do for the new Hero Support logo, but whatever it is, it has to mesh well, and we have to think of it as from an aspect. Technically speaking, Member Solutions logo could be vastly different than Villain Support and Hero Support because Member Solutions came first. But there isn't a company out there that wouldn't update their logo after a certain point.
Right.
And we definitely would have hit that point where we updated the logo.
Yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't a Hero Support logo be the same as Villain Support, but in different colors? No, because the Villain Support logo, the like, you guys don't have it up here. Let me show you.
Oh.
This is the new logo. Up in the corner, you can see the new logo now, right? That is more villain oriented than hero.
For sure.
If it was a hero, all these lines would be softer.
Our logo does kind of look like 2 Wolverines doing a nose touch.
It does.
Oh.
But you'd have these lines being softer. In fact, if I'm to be honest, you could take out the 2. Look at it. Look at the logo right now, Chris.
Yeah.
If you follow the line that and took off the rest, that would be that's Spawn.
It looks very Spawnish.
Oh
Yes.
shit.
What?
Oh shit.
It's not perfectly Spawn.
No. Thank goodness. But there is something else that is. I know I'm recognizing it. Oh shit, what is that? No, we're not doing a redesign. We're fine. I just could not turn it into if you take off the extra bit of the side wings and the top part.
Yeah.
That is very reminiscent of God, what is that? I know that. I'm looking straight at it. I have seen it before.
Well, it's kind of like Galactus.
Is that what
No,
it
not
is?
really. Because this is Spawn.
Yeah. It's not Spawn. It's
This is Spawn's face, which is ish, but no.
No. Where is view large icons? Here. Let me share my screen so I can reminds you of X-Men, Wolverine, Spawn, and different. Yeah. Let me show you what I mean here.
It's definitely got a very strong Wolverine-ish.
So
I've seen that before.
refresh.
It's from my tongue.
Give everyone trauma real quick, apparently. No, just
It's from my tongue.
Looks like Hawkman almost.
So if you took off these wing bits,
Yeah.
not going to be perfect because I'm
Vegeta?
doing a very no, not Vegeta.
Right.
Crap. Restore. Erase. Circle brush. Size. No, give me higher. Are you seeing it?
Who are we looking at? Batman?
I know I recognize this.
Oh,
I cannot. I know this.
I'm pretty sure it's like one of the villains from Batman. Is it?
Is that Bane?
Bane?
Bane.
No.
Is that Bane?
No.
No, because Bane has the full mask right here in the comic. But it is like reminiscent of Bane a little bit, but not.
I've seen that face before.
But still, it's one of those things where you got to be careful. You need to make sure, and like this is original design. I'm not worried about it. The way masks work is like you're gonna have a generic looking type of thing, right? It's just gonna be something that you're gonna deal with. That's a good mask though, too.
The red.
So if we change the colors, if we had it redone and had it be this part here, a smaller version,
Yeah.
then Member Solutions could literally be still the full mask, but the colors combined.
We'd figure it out.
What? No. Add a center spike. Less angry eyes. Yeah, less angry eyes. It's one of those things where when we go to make the hero support logo, we have to talk about effectively making the Member Solutions logo. That's what it's going to be because Member Solutions, I do not want a logo so vastly different that people don't associate it with the channel. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. We need to make that too. I gotta figure out a day, and I gotta have Troa in the chat and be like, okay, I'm free here. Are you free here? And plan out a day and do it, especially since it's not going to take much to clean up my desk now. Since somebody spilt all my soda.
That was literally like 2 days ago.
Since the cat's upstairs, right outside the door, next to the steps, unless you want to entertain them. You entertain them?
Huh?
I'm going to go get... Yep, sit up here and say hi. Talk to Chris for a little bit.
Hi, Tobias.
Hi. I guess still it's chair, so.
You want to be a YouTuber and a streamer, just remember, filter yourself.
All right. Entertain the people.
Okay. Well,
Entertain people.
okay. If I'm allowed to do anything. Okay. So, let's do this.
Remember, we can all see you.
Mm,
So don't pick your nose.
no. No. Ah, man, I
Hey, don't be messing with the computer.
didn't make it. I was trying to make it. We're so close to.
I made some sun tea.
Nice.
Proud kid. You can see right up his right up his nose. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
You okay?
Went down the wrong.
Oh, dang. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna try and make. How did I put this? I saw that sword over there. The real sword.
Yeah, don't mess with the real sword.
I saw that. They're like,
Oh, you know what? That reminds me.
huh. If you're gonna do that, well,
No, don't touch it. Chris,
behind.
Yeah.
look at my.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna try and like decide to make.
Oh, I gotta share something with you. Hold on. Let me look at the weather real quick and see how we're doing storm-wise here. Are they appearing down here like the forecast predicted? As of right now, it's not.
Green mask goes well. Well, whenever we go to make it, we'll talk to. What the heck?
Yeah, please.
I'm just gonna delete that comment.
What?
Thanks, CVVZ Designs. How's it going? Is that the same? Wait, is CVVZ Designs the RP? No, that's CZZY, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, I thought that was them. I'm like, that's awesome.
This actually goes perfectly with you.
All right. So if I'm gonna show this off, that means I have to do an ad thing. So if you guys want to, I think it's exclamation mark dice. This is a Christmas 7-in-1 set. On one side you have Santa with a dragon, and on the other you have a bunch of presents with, you know, one of them's dice and whatnot. Honestly, I feel like one of them should have been a mimic. That was like a lost opportunity to make one of them a mimic.
Wait, I have the mimic. Because
Yeah.
all the other ones have like the red dots thing. The red and blue dots.
Right. We're gonna put user in timeout, so I don't get banned because they are doing stuff.
Which user is that?
There was somebody that was saying that, hey, I'm playing a blank type of game.
Ah,
But yeah, you guys can go on there, and there are a variety of dice. Mind you, this one does not have a D4, but it's weighted so well. It is.
it is. I mean, this thing is chunky.
Yeah.
I just
My favorite one is still the wand dice,
Yeah.
even though you can't.
My complaint about these, the D20, I'll be honest, the numbers are so small it is impossible to tell what number you rolled.
Which one?
The D20 from the revolver dice.
There isn't a D20 on it.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, D20, not D4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can
It is-
tell.
It's extreme. I found it extremely difficult to tell which one you rolled, and I found
Oh.
that also that it favors one set of angles versus another. I believe it favored odds over evens.
Tobias, are you okay?
yeah. I actually rolled over, so I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Self-promotion of somebody else's stream without consent is very not rainbow. There's that, first of all. And second, it was the type of promotion that was going on. I was like, no.
Daddy.
What?
Villain support dice.
I would love to make villain support dice, but if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it through a small business, not a
Yep.
large one.
Okay.
So for everyone here, me and Chris both agree that one of the benefits of supporting a small business is, on average, the prices are usually cheaper. Now, unfortunately, that does mean it's usually limited to the United States unless that small business is actually large enough to handle international orders. Cosmic Kitties has a variety of merch available because I make 3D prints. Ryu does art and that kind of stuff. But it is not feasible to ship overseas. And for anyone that's ordered, I'm the one who most likely packed your order.
Yeah.
Used to be able to do thank you notes and everything, but we ran out of them and then we moved and yada yada. The business is not dead, but it's also not great because of what's currently going on. And this isn't political. This is just the reality is a lot of small businesses like Cosmic Kitties, like my spouse's business, like Warp's business, everything like that. They're on the rocks.
Yep.
And the politicians, and regardless of power, for the most part, do not care about.
Here's a great example of how slow politics works. Not political at all about current things. This is a South Carolina thing. 5-ish years ago, South Carolina passed a law because there had been a rash of underage people being served alcohol and there being accidents, etc. They passed a law that said if you sell alcohol in South Carolina, you have to carry a $1 million liability policy to cover the possible costs of that person getting served alcohol at your business. And if a 19-year-old, for example, got a beer at a bar and then crashed on his way home, the place that served him was liable, even if he had a really good fake ID. They should be checking it, etc. Tons of bars and restaurants in South Carolina had to up prices. Many of them closed. Many of them had to add food or change how they did business because the $1 million insurance policies were so expensive. And insurance companies began leaving the state because they didn't want to offer it as far as like business insurance, that they had like 2 or 3 options. And those 2 or 3 options were like, we're your only choices. So now the price is no longer here. Now it's here. And they were paying, $30,000, $40,000 a year, if not more, for that policy. And many of them were very careful and never violated it. But places are going out of business. People have been telling the legislature for 5 years. And they've been saying, yes, we know. We're trying to fix it. We need to find something that still protects, that still protects the public and punishes offenders positively. 5 years later, there's finally a bill that's passed in South Carolina in the House and the Senate here that lowers the policy requirement from $1 million to $500,000, $300,000 if you are a nonprofit, and it reduces the penalties on businesses, but it also requires that those businesses purchase an ID scanner or something else that allows them to verify whether or not an ID is real. And it increases the fines for someone who for a place that serves someone underage and is caught to do it. And hopefully this fixes some of the thing and stops the companies going out of business. But it's not an ideal solution, but it's better than what it was. But yeah, it took 5 years to do that. What's going on now, tariff-wise, whether you support it or you hate it or you're middle of the road and think it doesn't affect you, whatever your opinion is, whether or not it's good or bad, I have my own opinions. I'm not going to state them here. Short of Donald Trump just going, oh, they're not there anymore, because the president shouldn't be able to levy tariffs in the first place. Congress controls the money, but they're going into effect anyways. Unless he changes his mind real quick, which he's not going to do, at least not completely. This is going to take years and years to balance and fix as we figure out what the right balance is, because every politician has... Sorry, guys. Have a good night, Blackfire. every politician has their own benefits and detriments to being for or against these things outside of their politics and outside of their supporters. So it's just a giant mess, and it's going to stay a mess for a while.
It is. Hallie, to say this, and Blackfire, you have a good night. Effectively, it is. Yeah. The biggest issue I have is the same issue that a lot of small businesses or businesses in general are going to have is raising their prices. Now, me and Ryu have talked about it, and we would rather take a cut in profit because we already have on certain things we can afford to take a cut in profit. But on other things we can't. 3D prints, my 3D prints, even though across the board everyone is raising the prices, I am not going to. I have already set my prices at a certain price point where I can afford to take a cut in profit in order to keep my prices the same. I also tend to buy filament on discount and in bulk, and even though the prices are going to go up, there are alternate ways for me to get filament that isn't straight from China.
Exactly. We can say from now on, stones aren't going to make ripples anymore. There's already ripples in the water. We have to wait for those to settle, and who knows how long that's going to take.
Yep. But it sucks a lot because Ryu's been feeling down that their stickers weren't selling. But a lot of it was like trying to, get those stickers out, and a lot of people loved them. But on top of that, like both of us looked at the cost to make versus order, and I was like, in our brain, we did the math. If we could order before all this happened, 1,000, 10,000 stickers of a single sticker, and then start repeating that process, it would have been better for us, especially since we finally had the room to do that. And it would have been a higher quality sticker that people would have been able to pay for, buy and pay for, and more options. Now we don't know what's going to happen. That's what it basically goes down into. We want to keep the business open, but there's a good possibility that it may just die. And right when it was doing decent and life happened and we had to shutter things, we don't want to see it die. This was Ryu's way of becoming a full-time artist eventually down the road.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to put the plug in. I'll delete it if you want. I don't know what you mean. Willing Dragon, eventually actual business. Dyson is the same situation. Some things we can keep the same, but some things, it's the materials. Dragon, you're absolutely right. And Dragon, unless I highlight your comment, or shout out the name, it's not really a big concern to me. On Twitch, it's a little bit different because that's just like, you don't do that. You don't self-promote your own stream. Business-wise, as long as you're not, and we've mentioned this before, as long as you're not spamming the stream about it, I personally don't mind. Chris doesn't really mind. It's one comment out of like, a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Making every other comment you make, though, that's a good way to go.
Right.
But anyways, everyone, it has been almost 2 hours, and I think me and Chris still want to talk about the Kickstarter stuff and iron some things out because it's real quick before we do, let's take a quick look. Let's see. It's been 2 hours since we really started this. I'm going to refresh. Analytics are going to be a little bit behind. On the fully animated short, which it's not surprising since that's the first one that got uploaded. I guarantee you, if Chris had, if YouTube had decided to upload the other one first, the other one would probably be doing better.
For sure.
Still, positive feedback on it. On the combo live action one. A lot of good positive feedback. A lot of it's almost universally everyone who has seen the full animated, it's the same thing. And I think that one comment that I discussed earlier really nailed it. people know us, know what we look like, and because of that, they prefer the combo. Whereas if it was started out as just animation,
Yep.
they probably wouldn't have had any thought elsewise. They would have just enjoyed the video.
Right.
So that's definitely there, and the views are continuously going up. I'm looking forward to the weekend about how well it does.
Yeah.
I want to know 100%, and I'm sure everyone here does too. 100%, we're going to continue to do more animation and get a Kickstarter and stuff like that. Or are those separate questions I should be asking?
Say that again.
Okay. First of all, is it separate questions I should be asking? Are we going to have more animation, get a Kickstarter, yada, yada, yada?
We're going to have more animation regardless of Kickstarter, but Kickstarters is what's going to kick it into high gear.
All right. So 100% confirmed. We're going to have more animation regardless, because this is something that both me and Chris are passionate about. And I'm really, really happy about it. I look forward to it. We're going to talk about the Kickstarter and figure out, like, iron it out and look at it and what we can do. That has to be done off stream for a good portion of it. When we are ready to announce the Kickstarter, we will go hard on pushing it, because not only will this be a lot more updated content, better jokes, voicing older content, bringing older content that you guys loved, a fresh new take and life to it that everyone wanted. It's also just in general something we've been wanting to do, and I'm looking really forward to it. It's been over 2 hours now. I could picture Nappa having a chubby fox. Levi could picture as a ferret or a minx. Not sure. Oh, as I would totally be a ferret. I've owned ferrets before. They are chaotic, neutral as you could possibly be. 1 minute they will love you, the next minute they want to hunt you.
Yeah.
You think a cat is bad. You have not seen a ferret in action, and they are mostly harmless until they're not. Because remember, ferrets used to hunt venomous snakes. Yeah. I don't think the mass-produced ferrets of today could really survive out in the wild. But
you make it sound like that. You make it sound like they come off an assembly line. Mass-produced ferrets.
It's not wrong, sadly. They pretty much do come off an assembly line. It's kind of
interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, they're massively bred. It's not a huge bad thing, thankfully. It's decently regulated, but there's some really bad stuff in there too. Anyways, I love you all. We're gonna cut it short or cut it at this point.
Yep.
Thank you all for joining. I wish you all peace of what? Let me do my closing. Do you know the ending? Do you? What's the ending before I do everything?
The closing.
Yeah. What? No. What? How's it go? Is a product of villain.
It's a product of villain.
Have an activity where we're actually built your account. Are you ready to say that?
No.
Okay, then don't let Chris do it then. Unless you're willing to give it a try.
No.
Okay. I wish you all peace of mind, serenity, body, and spirit, and harmony, among others. Remember to take it one breath, one step, one day at a time. Till the winds blow your sails my way again. Have an Acme Day. And remember,
have an Acme Day is a product of villain. Having an Acme Day will retroactively build your account. Have an Acme Day.
And having an Acme Day simply means to have the best day you possibly can have. Bye, everyone.
Boop.